Don't you miss the times when the cheapest planar IEM was $99? Yeah, me too. Hello and thank you for clicking on this video. I'll be sharing my experience on the KZ and HBB collaboration IEM, the PR2. Before we begin, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank KZ for sending this unit in exchange for my honest feedback. However, as always, they will have no influence over my feedback and all thoughts and opinions are my own. KZ and HBB are back at it again. It's good to see things moving forward from the past, but will this be a redemption story? Let's find out, but as always, let's talk accessories first. As always with KZ's unboxing experience, you got interchangeable ear tips. This time you have ones that have groove lines on it. You've got the cable, which is your standard 2-wire cable stuck together, nothing much to talk about there, and the IEMs themselves, which comes with the foam tips equipped. As for the looks of the IEMs, I'm really digging this new approach on using metal because it just makes it look and feel a lot more premium than what the price is asking, which is good for us consumers. I like the grille design on the faceplate and the edge of the IEMs kind of look like vents for your ears. It's simple, it's noticeable, but if you like something more plain, then this might not be the one for you. You can see the driver through the see-through resin shell. Overall, a nice looking IEM. For fit and comfort, it's pretty much the same as any single KZ DD IEMs before it. It's small, it's got a gentle groove, fits in my ears no problem, and it's comfortable, at least for me. Let's talk about sound. For the bass on the PR2 are enough for music accompaniment, but we're not talking bass head level super deep brain busting bass. There's more than sufficient here. However, typically with planar bass being relatively quick and fast, I feel the bass on the PR2 is a little on the slower side. It almost sounds like DD bass to a certain extent. Either way, it's just something to note, otherwise bass is good enough to keep the tracks engaging. For mid-range, this is those background music within the same plane as a singer kind of presentation. Maybe the vocals are a hair step in front, but as always, if you're into vocal presence and focus, the PR2 is not that, because you hear the vocals and everything else, but not in a way where it muddies everything. I still get the vocals dead center and the instruments playing on the left and right. More on imaging later. For treble, to my ears, treble is smooth. That shimmery, metallic, thin sound that some planars can have is not on the PR2, at least for my experience, which is great in this case because of how the sound is presented, so if it was any sharper, you'd hear it in your brain. However, it's still high enough for some of the details to come through, though as always, with smoother treble presentations, it does have a small impact on resolution, but we'll talk about that later. There's enough treble extension to give instruments and vocals that airiness, which I feel has been lacking in some of the budget sets. For soundstage resolution and imaging, left and right sound positions are good and it's relatively well separated, so it all contributes to a slightly wider than average soundstage, not overly wide, but there's a sense of space within the sound, especially with all the details playing on the left and right. However, those details is just ever so slightly lacking that bit of attack, that incisiveness, which I feel how the treble is tuned contributed to this aspect. But to be honest, I'm nitpicking here, because for this price, as an overall, I feel it's meant to be a more laid-back presentation with a bit of engagement to keep your toes tapping. And if that's the goal of this IEM, I feel it achieved that. For source, this IEM actually takes a lot to power. On my phone, I'm getting to about 90% on the volume, and on my Hi-Fi EF400, I'm on the 1 o'clock dial on low gain, which is a first for me, especially for a budget IEM. So to sum it all up, if anyone's asking for an entry planar IEM, especially in this price range, you can't get any better than the KZ HBB PR2. This sentence will probably last 6 months tops depending on the situation, but still, well done KZ and HBB. The next bracket up would be the Diocos, but it's an entirely different presentation with less bass, cleaner mid-range due to the lack of bass, and sharper treble. And honestly, between the Diocos and the PR2, I can see myself reaching for the PR2 more often. But again, that's based on my personal sound preferences. If KZ keeps knocking out IEMs at this level, the higher priced IEMs may actually be in trouble because we're getting really close. But if you're concerned if your Tang Zoo heyday is in danger, don't worry. It still holds its place in its category for now. However, this is all based on one man's experience, and I'm curious to know yours. Did you get your hands on the PR2 and what's your experience like? Favorite KZ IEM, or is there one better? Comment below, let me know. And with that all said, thank you to KZ again for this opportunity, and most importantly to all of you watching this video. Take care, and I'll see all of you in the next experience.